Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for Honda CR-V 1.6 diesel automatic. Now this is an SE model with 48,000 miles, and this one's fitted with the optional driver assistance or the safety pack. Really nice thing to have on the car. Finished in black, looks absolutely lovely. Obviously a facelift version with this new style front end, and the car's been kept really nicely. Front of the car really clean. The lights and lenses completely clear and intact. Bonnet hardly exhibits a stone chip on the car on there at all. I mean, there will be one somewhere, but you have to look very hard indeed. Near side of the vehicle, dent free, really clean in the panel work. Full set of Goodyear efficiency tyres on the car with loads of tread, and alloy there absolutely perfect, and that's the one that tends to take all the bashing on the near side. Side rear alloy again absolutely perfect. Come around the back, bumper corner very good indeed. And then round to the off side of the vehicle, driver side, again dent free in the panel work. Offside rear alloy absolutely superb. The remaining panels really good as well. It really is in lovely condition. And offside front alloy again absolutely unmarked, so it really is in fabulous condition. Coming to the back of the car now, absolutely cavernous boots on these CR-Vs, the low load height as well, which makes it great for dog owners. Quick folding rear seats, and it's been kept really nicely in the back here. Coming to the back of the car now, absolutely huge amounts of legroom in the CR-Vs. They really are massive. And those front seats are set for me, and I'm 6 foot tall, so no cheating going on at all. Fabric all in very good condition. Coming to the front now on the passenger side, again all nice and clean and tidy. And likewise, front passenger seat there, all in very nice condition as well. Finally come to the driver's door card. Again, really clean and tidy. Footwell areas, all very nice. And driver's seat itself, it takes all the wear, but shows very little at all. So inside the car now, engine's running through the section, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Work looks absolutely as new. Fabulous dashboard as well. Sat nav, you can see they're working absolutely perfectly. If I pop the car into reverse, you get the lovely clear gridded parking camera to complement the rear, front and rear parking sensors fitted to the car as well. But it has been kept very nicely indeed. All the little recesses, very nice. Come across the dashboard, and then you've got all the fascia or dashboard rather. 48,298 miles. There are no warning lights on the car at all, but it really is in absolutely fabulous condition in here. Finally, just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack and locking wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 1.6 SE automatic diesel. This particular car is registered PX65WPO, and mileage at the start of the road test is 48,291 miles. The reason we do these videos essentially is so that if anyone's looking at the car in an advert online, they actually get to see that very car in operation, which we feel to be incredibly important, given the fact that people are willing to travel huge distances to go and see cars these days, ourselves included. And it can just be hugely frustrating when you get there to find out it's got a fundamental issue which would show up immediately on test drive. Cars can look great in descriptions and photographs, but so without having that advanced knowledge, it may change whether you decide to go or not. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route any prospective buyer would go on. And in that sense, we hope it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. The car itself been beautifully looked after all the way through by Honda up until the service we've just conducted. It wasn't quite due, but we've done it anyway. And the car will be going for an independent MOT later today or tomorrow, hopefully so rather. So go through the car, engine starts absolutely immediately and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle. I'll do the temperature gauge a little bit later in the video, as I like to do these videos from colder if I possibly can. Obviously, because that tends to show up anything that might be sort of adverse or otherwise. But the engine's just a brilliant unit, and of course this is the higher horsepower engine, because they have two configurations on the 1.6s, so the ones at around about 130 and these at 160 horsepower. But it's a lovely unit, and don't think for a second that it's not man enough for the car, because it's quite the opposite. It's much quicker than the previous 2.2 and much better on fuel actually, so it's kind of technology advances basically, but it's a wonderful unit. Engine goes into the automatic gearbox, obviously very slick shifting gearbox, all working exactly as it should, very wonderfully smooth gear changes, and matches the engine absolutely superbly. Steering on the car, they've done a lovely job on it, Honda, because it's got a lovely kind of, although it's electric power steering as most power steering systems are these days, quite often that can mean kind of light power steering, sort of devoid of any feel or sort of interaction with the road. This just feels lovely because it's kind of slightly heavy in feel, makes the car feel nice and solid and secure on the road at all speeds and all corner types. So it doesn't make the car feel nervous or sort of over light, which I can't abide. And it's very precise in the way it operates as well. It really is. There's no vibrations, by the way, at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, so all good in that sense. Suspension of the car, that bump there, particularly bad one on this road test route. It's quite a handy one really, because what I'm looking for when it hits a bump is just to make sure that there's no clattering or knocking noises coming from underneath the vehicle that shouldn't actually be there, and there's nothing at all, albeit obviously anything like that would be picked up on the MOT. But the suspension's a wonderfully set up system. It gives you a really compliant ride, very comfortable, but also gives fantastic body control for this type of vehicle. So you don't get huge amounts of body motion, which can be particularly unsettling for rear seat passengers. And it's what the CR-V's always been noted for. And given the fact that the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, clearly Honda know what the kind of audience for this type of car, generally speaking, wants. Just going to give the brakes a bit of a shove here. Maybe a little bit later than I would do normally, but they're really good brake pedal on the car. What I'm looking for is, not only does it sort of bite well, as it definitely does because it's got plenty of power on it, but also the fact that it's there's no kind of pulsing or rumbling coming back through the brake pedal, and there is nothing at all. It's absolutely spot on. Coming to the interior, first things first, as always, beautifully made. No squeaks, no rattles, no buzzers from the trim. Honda put these cars together absolutely brilliantly, but they're also lovely places to sit. You've got a fantastic driving position with a great view ahead, sideways and back to the car, helped by these huge wing mirrors on the side. It really makes you feel as you can sort of, whether you're parking or just positioning the car on the road, it's a very simple car to manoeuvre. That's helped, of course, with the huge rear parking camera fitted in here, and also the front and rear parking sensors with the visual display as well. But they are lovely cars to drive. The dashboard is simplicity itself to operate, albeit very highly equipped. But it's not one of these cars where you get in and you feel kind of phased by how everything works. It's just a car to jump in and drive, and within a few days of owning, everything becomes second nature very quickly. All, by the way, working exactly as it should. Sat nav, you can see there. You've got a dual zone climate control system so you can have different temperatures side to side on the vehicle. All the switch gears got this lovely damped quality feel to it, which you get from Honda cars. Air conditioning, as I said, absolutely ice cold in the vehicle. Dashboard in front, again, really simple. minimal information, all the information you need. Temperature gauge now, which is running as a third, by the way, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car. And again, and then you got sort of temperature gauge, rev counter and speedo, but just nicely legible, simple, easy to take the information in, which is exactly what you want. Steering wheel is quite small in diameter, which I really like. It makes the car feel kind of quite sort of manoeuvrable. Just feels great in hand, feels pretty much as new to hold as well. But it really is a lovely, lovely car. The whole point, as I said, of the video is literally to pick up on anything that manifests itself or shows up whilst driving the vehicle. That is nothing at all. It drives as tight as a drum. It feels, cliched as it sounds, absolutely is new to drive, but just feels wonderfully tight on the road. As always, though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate. Please do give us a call.